Actually, when we were little, our parents and teacher would always tell us when to do what to make sure we got our things done. But as we grew up a little bit, there became less and less people who would always be there to keep an eye on us and make sure our lives turns out just fine. So college is one of the turning points for many people, and we started to learn about adulting, managing our own life. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned this far is to not procrastinate. So I am going to share with you all a story of me preparing, or more precisely, procrastinating for my dental admission test, which is AKA DAT, last year. So everything started with how good I thought I was at procrastinating. Um, it's really not something I'm very proud of, but indeed I was really good at it. So since first semester of college, I almost crammed every single exam the night before, and I hope there's no judgment here. And I almost always ace them. So freshman year cell bio, I can still remember I pulled four all-nighters for that one class, one before each exam, and I did great. But every time after exam, I would tell myself, you can't do this anymore. You have to sleep. You have to start studying earlier next time. But when I got my scores back, I would think, I guess this whole cramming thing probably just works fine for me. So, so then I moved into my sophomore year. I started cramming for organic chemistry. Still turned out great. And I just continued doing so for biochem, for physical chemistry, and so many other classes. So after all these exams and classes, procrastinating just seemed to become one of my habits, like an actual study strategy. It was so bad to the point that I do not know how to study ahead. So procrastinating, and that's when it became a real issue. So procrastinating for DAT was one of the worst decisions I've made, but it's also the time when I finally started making changes. So flashing back to April 2019, I registered for DAT. I registered for DAT in August. It normally takes people 2 months to prepare for the test, as it includes biology, general chemistry, organic chemistry, as well as math, reading comprehension, and perceptual ability. So for a test this stuff, I did make a plan that I'm going to study June and July for this test only, and I feel like I was so ready to stick to the schedule this time because I know it's important and I know what would happen if I do that. So at this point of the story, I'm not sure if it's surprising that I did not stick to my schedule at all. So there is always a voice in my head telling me, you'll be fine. You don't have to study today. Like you can wait. And what happened next was I kept postponing my DET until the last test day of the year, which was October 10th. And I've always realized that I was very short on time, but I didn't start studying until 3 weeks before the exam, and no doubt that was the worst 3 weeks of my life, both physically and mentally. Because the amount of materials to study for was more than overwhelming, not to mention I was also in 16 units of classes that semester. So the only place I would go to during those 3 weeks was school, and the rest of my time I would spend at home studying, maybe get 4 hours of sleep every day, and then go to school again. And I rarely talked to my friends or even hung out with them because I know I do not have time for anything other than prepping for the test. So the week before DAT, I had a major mental breakdown. It was a Tuesday, which happened to be my inorganic chemistry lab day. So that morning, I was in lecture. Um, Besides feeling exhausted and stressed out as usual for the past 2 weeks, I started feeling nauseous and lightheaded. And I seriously think there was no way I can do lab in the afternoon. So after class, I went to my professor, which happens to also be my research advisor. So I tried to explain to him what was going on with my life. And before I could even finish my first sentence, I started crying like a 3-year-old. And at that point, I wasn't sure if he understood my English because I was crying so badly. But very thankfully, he did, and he told me to go home and get some rest. So as I calmed down a little bit, I headed off campus. I had my convertible top down to get myself some fresh air and maybe enjoy the view a little bit. But very dramatically, I cried all the way on PCH from Malibu to Santa Monica. So by the moment I got home, I was kind of done with crying. So I emptied my head and I went straight to bed. And those 10 hours of sleep really brought me back to life. And it sort of gave me the energy and faith to get through the last couple of days of cramming. And very fortunately, my story have a happy ending. I scored pretty well on DAT. But unlike any other successful cramming experience of mine, if you ask me, would you procrastinate again? I would definitely say no. Even until today, I still feel like I'm very lucky. The only thing I lost from that experience was just sleep instead of the opportunity to apply for school this year. Um, so I started to make changes. Um, I try to push myself to do things earlier. For example, I didn't write this speech the night before, and said Charles Dickens, procrastination is a thief of time. Collar him. And now I feel like I've got that bad boy under control. Thank you.